everybody, it's Sheep the Sheep, and today we're going to be talking about the true story of Snow White and Rose Red by the Brothers Grimm and retold by me, Sheep. Whoop whoop! Let's get started. There once was a poor widow who lived in a lonely cottage. In front of the cottage was a garden, and there were 2 rose trees. One of them had white roses, and the other one had red roses. The woman had 2 kids, and they were like the 2 rose trees. One of them was Snow White, and the other was Rose Red. They were good kids, they was happy, they were busy. Snow White was a little quieter, and Rose Red, she ran out in the field. She was catching butterflies. Ooh, I like butterflies. They often ran about in the forest all alone and gathered. Wait. That little girl is gonna go out in the forest by herself? You can't go out in the forest by yourself. There's bears out there and wolves and all kind of stuff. What kind of mama gonna let her babies out in the forest by themselves? Ah! The little rabbit would eat some cabbage out of their hands. The little deer would eat by their side. And the birds were singing in the trees. In the winter time, when it was snowing outside, Snow White would make a fire. When it became nighttime, she would tell Snow White to go lock the door. And then they would sit around the fire. Mama would take out her glasses and read from a big book. Oh, the girls loved listening to that. There was a baby lamb on the floor. Now see, I knew there was gonna be a baby lamb. You can't have no good story without no good sheep. Whoop whoop! There was even a white dove. Now one evening they were sitting comfortable together and there was a knock on the door. What could it be? The mother said, "Quick, Rose Red, go open the door." Wait. You gonna make the little girl open the door? Come on, Mama, she gonna get eaten. Mama said it must be a traveler who wants to get in. Rose Red opened the door thinking it was gonna be a poor man, but it was not. It was a bear. Uh-oh! You better run, girl! You better run! He stuck his head in the door. Rose Red screamed and ran. The lamb ran and hid. The dove flew away. Snow White hid herself behind her mother's bed. But the bear started to talk and said, Wait. The bear's gonna be talking? I mean, I know I'm a talking sheep. I just didn't expect it, you know? I mean, I didn't say it wasn't right. I just said I wasn't expecting it. Okay, let's read. The bear said, "Don't be afraid. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just almost frozen and I just want to come warm up." "Poor bear," said the mama. "Lie down here by the fire. Just don't burn your fur." Then she cried, "Snow White, Rose Red, get out of here. The bear's not gonna hurt you. He's a nice bear." So they both got out, and the lamb came out and the dove came out. The bear said, "Here, children, get this snow off my coat." So they brought a broom and swept the bear. Wait, a broom? Why can't you just wipe it off? You gotta smack him with a broom? So the children played with the bear and helped the bear. They loved it. They rolled around and he laughed. It was all in good fun. But when it was bedtime, the others went to bed and the mama said, "Here, bear, you can lie here by the fire and you'll be safe from the bad weather." Uh-oh. I think you're gonna eat them while they're asleep. I think you're gonna eat them. Ah! When it was daytime, the children let the bear out. And every day he came back at nighttime and came inside and they played. And they started to make good friends with him. When springtime came and everything was green outside, the bear said to Snow White, "Now I must go away. I can't come back for the whole summer." "Good. Get out of here, bear. Get out of here." Snow White said, "Where are you going, bear?" He said, "I've got to go to the forest and get my treasure. The wicked dwarfs out there will steal it." "Ooh, I'm gonna get me some treasure. I'm gonna buy me an Xbox. I'm gonna buy me a car. I'm gonna buy me all kind of stuff." Snow White was so sorry to see the bear go, but the bear hurried out. When he did, his fur caught on the door, and it tore some off, but Snow White was sure she saw something like gold. "Ooh, get you some of that gold, girl." But she did not know what to think. Then the bear ran away, and soon as he was out of sight,
They didn't see him again. A short time later, the mama sent the kids out to the forest to get firewood.
See, the mama sending the baby out in the forest all alone again. Ah!
When they was out in the forest, they saw a log on the ground and something jumping up and down beside it. When they came near, they saw a little dwarf with his long white beard caught on the wood. He stared at the girls and said, "What are you doing? Come over here and help me." "What are you up to, little man?" said Rose Red.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. What you up to? What you up to?
He said, "You silly goose. I was gonna split this tree and get some firewood, but then my beard got caught." Snow White said, "I'll help you." Then she pulled out her scissors from her...
Wait, who carries scissors in their pocket? Whatever.
And she cut off the end of his beard. The dwarf stood up and said, "Oh no, my beard!" "What?"
Wait a second. You're gonna complain because they cut off a little piece of your beard? Do you know what they do to me every summer? They shave my whole coat off. All of it. Don't complain.
But the dwarf said, "How dare you cut a piece of my beard?" Then he took a bag full of gold and threw it over his shoulder and ran away. Some time later, Snow White and Rose Red went to catch a fish. They came near a brook of water and saw something jumping up and down until headed towards the water. It was the dwarf. "Where are you going?" said Rose Red. "You don't want to go in the water, do you?" The dwarf said, "I ain't no fool. Don't you see this fish is trying to pull me in? I was sitting here fishing, and all of a sudden I got tangled up in my fishing line. The girls came near and yanked, but they couldn't get him free, so they cut a little more of his beard." The dwarf screamed. He said, "Not more of my beard." Then he grabbed his bag full of pearls, threw it over his shoulder, and ran away.
He is not very grateful. You should be grateful and thankful when people help you.
The road led them to a place with big rocks. They noticed a bird in the air, but it was carrying something that was screaming. It was the dwarf. A giant eagle had the dwarf. They grabbed him and they pulled him. The eagle let go, but it pulled off more of his beard. The dwarf screamed, "No, not more of my beard." The girls were at this time used to him not being grateful, but he grabbed a bag full of precious gemstones.
How many bags of stuff does this guy got? He needs to share some of that.
And the dwarf ran away. But just as he began running away, there was a bear who came out of the forest. And the dwarf said, "No, no, bear, don't eat me. Eat these little girls. They're as fat as young little birds."
Fat as young little birds? Whatever.
But the bear did not listen to him. The bear grabbed the dwarf and he smacked him with his paw. Dwarf did not move again. The girls had run away, but the bear said, "Snow White, Rose Red, don't be afraid. I will come with you." And they recognized his voice. They came back, but suddenly his bear skin fell off, and he stood there a handsome man, all clothed in gold. Woo! He said, "I'm a king's son, and I was bewitched by that dwarf. He took my treasures, and I've had to run about in the forest as a bear until I was freed by his death." And Snow White married the man, and Rose Red married his brother. Wait,
this whole time we're gonna be talking about this man, and Snow White married him, and then we're gonna get like 3 words about his brother? And she married his brother. We don't even know who this guy is.
And they took some of the treasure back from the dwarf's cave, and the old mother moved into the castle with them and lived happily for a long time. She brought the 2 rose trees with her, and they stood outside her window, and every year they bore the most beautiful roses, white and red.
I like that story. It was pretty good, wasn't it? And the lesson is, don't go out in the forest by yourself. Don't mess with dwarves. Don't mess with big bears. And sometimes bears turn out to be handsome princes. Listen to your mama. Remember, if you like our videos, make sure to like and subscribe and share it with your friends. Whoop whoop.